it's Blepnir here with another team review, and today we're going to be looking at a team that is very similar to the team that I showed you guys last time. But instead of Herdier in the lead, we're actually going to have our Furfrou in the lead. Furfrou is a Pokemon that is single normal type, and it got access to the fast move of Sand Attack this season, similar to Herdier. Unlike Herdier, it gets access to Grass Knot and Surf as charge moves, whereas Herdier gets access to Dig and Thunderbolt as charge moves. And what that means is that you have a Pokemon that has very different coverage. Both Pokemon are walled by grass types. However, the Herdier has coverage versus flying, whereas the Furfrou has coverage versus ground and anything weak to grass. Really, Furfrou I think is good because of the fact that it one-shots ground water types ultimately. So, but in general, Furfrou is a lot bulkier than Herdier, and it gets to its moves a lot faster. So while I like both Herdier and Furfrou, I'm gonna have to say that Furfrou is actually a little bit better than Herdier, unfortunately. And I think it's evidenced in these matches. So let's take a look at what we've got. We've got Furfrou into Whimsicott. This is a horrible match. That we get absolutely countered by this. This is something that we actually have a bad matchup with Feraligatr as well. So not a great situation for us. We do let this move go, recognizing that they can't farm us down before we get to an Ice Beam. So they shield. They switch rather. They switch into the Lantern, and this is okay for us. We're going to throw the Hydro Cannon. And now we can take them out with a Grass Knot after all this damage from the Sand Attack. One of the reasons why I like Sand Attack so much is because it deals so much damage, especially against Lanterns, which I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing a lot of Lanterns in the meta. I feel like Lantern is the most common Pokemon in the meta right now, and this moveset of Sand Attack and Grass Knot is really good against the Lanterns. And so here, we're getting very lucky. It seems like they don't have an answer to the Crocalor, so they're staying in with the Whimsicott, and that gives us a huge winning potential here. I think that we actually got the debuff there to attack, which allowed us to get to 2 Incinerates instead of 1, which is actually kind of better for us. And they have a Gallade in the lead, and we should definitely win at this point because they're only at 2 Psycho Cuts on Gallade, and we have 2 shields. So we just have to throw this Disarming Voice here. This should be enough to take out the Gallade, and that is a good game. So next up we have Furfrou into Serperior. This is another hard counter. This is a huge hole in this team is grass types. And so we are actually able to counter the grass types with the Feraligatr, which has Ice Beam. But it's still going to be very tough. Lantern obviously is a hard counter to Feraligatr. So far, we've been hard countered in the lead and hard countered in the safe swap, which usually means that we just lose the game, honestly, because at this point, we just got no answer to this core. So we are going to no shield here. They use the Surf, and they actually get to another Surf, which this is so bad for us. We're just going to be below half health here, and we farm them down. And so they come back in with Serperior, and then they throw the move. And this is very good for me because we can tank any move that they throw here. They throw the Frenzy Plant, which does about as much as the Aerial Ace. So definitely not a bad idea to throw the Frenzy Plant. I think the Aerial Ace will be a little bit more energy efficient. But let's see if that comes to bite them in the ass in the end. So here, this is the true strength of the Crocolore versus Skeledirge, because it is just able to outpace the Skeledirge to its moves. And so you see here that they baited with a Disarming Voice, but we are going to be able to outpace them to their Shadow Ball regardless, because we got a Incinerate worth of damage of Incinerate worth of energy here. We're able to throw the Crunch, take them out, and then we can throw this next Crunch. It's still going to be very, very close. We do have residual energy on the Furfrou, and we are going to not live a Frenzy Plant here, so this is not looking great at all. But they throw an Aerial Ace, and then we reach the Surf. So this is amazing here. This is very not very like not guaranteed mechanic of being able to sneak in your fast move and the charge move. You know, it doesn't always happen, but luckily we got it that time. So next up we have our Furfrou into a Kanto Ninetales, and this is not a bad matchup for us because we have access to the Sand Attack and also the Surf, and then we catch the move. So questionable choice to catch the charge move here, just because they probably have an answer to water if they lead with a fire type, but their answer to water is a Trevenant, and Trevenant has a very bad matchup with Feraligatr. They have to shield the first move because otherwise they would just be taken out with Shadow Claws, and then we can shield here, and then we can throw our Hydro Cannon, and if they shield this, then we can actually just farm them down, so they have to no shield. Yeah, and this is a very good secondary matchup for us. They have a Kofik Regis in the back, and just like this, this game should be won because the Furfrou has a very good matchup versus the Kofik Regis. But we go into the Crocolore for some reason. I'm not really sure why we're going to the Crocolore here, but this game should be over. I guess that we're going to Crocolore to do some damage with Incinerates and also get some energy with Incinerate. Yeah, I guess that's the reason why we're going to shield here too, because the worst that the opponent can throw on us is just another Dark Pulse. So this game should be over here because this should take them out. It does not take them out, but another Sand Attack does. So yeah, that's even better for us because we get that extra Sand Attack worth of energy. And then we go for this Power Whip here. Power Whip won't take out the opponent, but they are just going to give up here because they realize that Dark Pulse wouldn't actually take out our Furfrou from this range. Furfrou has a little bit of bulk to it. And so, because of that, the Furfrou would have been able to farm them down even if they got to a Dark Pulse. So next up we have Furfrou into Dragonair. This is the worst possible lead for us because the Furfrou loses lead and then the Feraligatr loses swap quite horribly here. But they're staying in. And so we're going to go straight Hydro Cannon, just thinking that they're probably going to shield here. If they don't shield, this is kind of bad for us. They do shield, thankfully. And then we go for the second Hydro Cannon, and they have to make a decision. Are they going to shield? They do shield again. And so now we're in a 2-shield situation. And they throw their energy, and this is just early season stuff. You know, you're not going to see the opponent throwing their energy like this in the later season, definitely. But we definitely take that when we get it because we had such bad alignment that we are going to probably take this attack And at this point, the opponent's Dragonair is getting into Surf range. So we're going to wait until the last possible moment before they get to their Aqua Tail. And we're going to throw the Surf. And the Surf is going to take them out. We get to our Surf, and then we go into our Crocalor versus the Annihilate. And we will win this match because of the fact that Crunch puts them into Incinerate downrange before they reach 2 Sky attacks. And that means that we just win this game. We can no-shield this because it is a Sky attack. I don't think that they would Brave Bird there, but it doesn't really matter because of the fact that we have Disarming Voice. The Disarming Voice will put them into more than Surf range. And you have to remember, we have the Surf loaded. So yeah, they're going to CMP Tias here. And this would be scary, except for the fact that we do already have a move. And so because we have this Surf loaded on the Furfrou, this was never a match that we were endangered of losing. And that is a good game. Even though we faced the hardest possible counter in the lead, we were able to navigate our way through it and guarantee ourselves a win in the end. We got Furfrou into Nidoqueen. This is a very good lead because we deal super effective damage with the Sand attack and also super effective damage with Surf. And we also outpace to the Surf. And that means that this is a pretty clean win for us. The question is, are they going to try to switch out at some point and snipe us? Because this Poison Fang is going to put us into farm down range, I think, unless we throw our move. Okay, so we actually managed to farm them down right before they reach the Poison Fang. And we safe swap. So I agree with a safe swap because because we have so much energy on the Furfrou, we probably could do something with that energy here. And sure enough, we could use the energy to take out this Cherrim. But if they have a Cherrim as a safe swap, I'm thinking that they probably have a double Razor Leafers in the back. And that's why I come in with Crocalor. And we get 2 Incinerates off on this Cherrim. Let's see here. They have Mandibuzz in the back. So this is very interesting. Probably they should have just switched into the Mandibuzz and preserved their Razor Leafer to be a sack swap in the back. It's very good that they did not do that. And I think that we just win now. If they had their Razor Leafer in the back as a sack swap, then this would be tough. But they're going to throw the Dark Pulse, does not kill. And then we have both moves. We have this Disarming Voice, and then we have the Surf. And so I thought this was game over, right? Because Surf is an okay move, but it's not going to do nearly enough there. I was very surprised that Surf did that little. That was like 20% of the Manibuzz's health. But luckily, the Incinerate obviously takes them out from there. Once again, that's one of the strengths of Crocalor, is that Incinerate is just such a hard-hitting move that even if you don't have the charge move damage to take out a bulky Pokemon, then you usually can take them out with the Incinerates. Okay, so here, Charjabug is a tough lead for us. It's a neutral lead, but because Charjabug is kind of bulky and has such a good move set, and we have not a very good move set, usually this is a pretty bad matchup for us. They do shield, so the shield is the best that we can ask for in this situation. Because we're going to lose this matchup, but at least we're going to have a shield advantage here. And they have to throw another move. So they're not at 2 moves yet. They're almost at 1 move, I think, here. I think that after 1 Volt Switch, they'll be at 1 move. And so we're going to absorb that move into Crocalor, because we have to take it. Yeah, we absolutely have to take this move because we want to take our shield advantage. We want to take advantage of that. We're thinking that maybe they don't have an answer to water in the back, which is why we're going to go into Feraligatr with a shield advantage versus Whiscash. This is not terrible for us because Whiscash is not going to put us into farm down range with a single Mud Bomb. And a Scald is resisted, obviously, so it will not do a whole lot of damage. They go straight Mud Bomb, which is what I would do personally. But even though Feraligatr is very delicate, it will not take a lot of damage from these Mud Bombs. They have an Altari in the back. And so here, I go for the Ice Beam. And as I was doing this, I was kicking myself. I was thinking like, oh my gosh, I just threw this game. Because if I had just gone Hydro Cannon, I would have been able to take them out with an Ice Beam here. But actually, they would have gotten to the Sky Attack anyway. So it doesn't really make a difference. And this is going to be very close. This is insanely close here. I think this doesn't quite take them out. Yeah, this doesn't take them out. And then we have to throw another Disarming Voice. And then they have to be 3 Mud Shots away from a move. Yeah. Okay, we get there. We get there. Let's fucking go. Let's go. That's amazing. That's insanely close. We survived 3 Mud Shots. That's another good thing about Crocalor over Skeledirge. Even though I do like Skeledirge a little bit more than Crocalor overall, Crocalor is a little bulkier than Skeledirge. And that's amazing. Because a Skeledirge definitely would not have survived there. Okay, so here we have an Empoleon on the lead. They switch to the Goodra. That's kind of horrible for me. Goodra is a horrible safe swap for me to deal with because this team, I'm not sure if you noticed, but this team is terrible versus dragon types. But luckily they do shield and they do not farm up quite enough for the Power Whip. So we call the move. We have to make a decision here. I think that we shield this because we know that we reached the Ice Beam. And so because we reached the Ice Beam, we shield. The Hydro Cannon probably would have taken them out at this point, honestly. But the Hydro Cannon, it would have been really close. So the Hydro Cannon wouldn't take them out at the point at which we got to the Hydro Cannon. We would have not needed to get to the Ice Beam regardless to take them out. And so here, we are going to not quite take them out with a Grass Knot. And we don't get a farm down. And that's really bad. That means that we made a mistake. Because we could have easily undercharged the Grass Knot or thrown a Surf. But they have a Gallade in the back. And this is not over. This is definitely not over. We could shield this. We no shield. It's a close combat. Oh my gosh. I think that I thought that I was using my Skeledirge here. If I had Skeledirge, this would have been an easy, good game. But because of this, we are going to lose this game. It's still very close because Grass Knot does a solid amount of damage here. We're going to shield. We're going to throw a Grass Knot. And then if that puts them into farm down range, then we can win this game. Let's see. Steel Wing does a lot of damage, but it doesn't do quite as much damage as the Waterfalls. It's very close. Very, very close. And we get taken out. That is a good game. Very satisfying last game there that we lost, unfortunately. But this team has been so fun. The backline of the Shadow Feraligatr and the Crocalor is so much fun. The double Crocodile backline. I cannot recommend it enough. And let me know, guys, what you've been using in this meta. Let me know how you've been enjoying this new Season 18 meta. And with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.